I'll tell you a tale today that I happened to come across one day as I was waiting patiently for a haircut in a magazine filled with oddities. Reading it struck me much since a lot of the time, truth is better than fantasy. I wanted you to know that not everything that seems to be perfect is, which is why I wanted to share it with you all. Welcome to USA Stories channel. Do not forget to subscribe and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. Now let's go to the story. This narrative centers on a Mexican bridal pair from Puebla. This was Sandra, who was 25, and Javier, who was 28. He was a well-known lawyer, and she was the city's most famous dentist. One day, Javier came to Sandra's office with a terrible toothache, and when he saw Sandra, he experienced what is known as love at first sight. Sandra wasn't all that intrigued in Javier, to be honest. He did, however, ask Sandra for her phone number in a very cunning manner, claiming that he would call her if he had another pain or need any dental care. Sandra handed Javier the phone number, certain he would simply be another patient. A few weeks later, Javier picked up the phone and gave her an invitation to go out. After 3 years of dating, they made the decision to tie the knot. They had discussed the matter for a while, deciding that marriage would come first before they trusted a kid. Thus, it would be the ideal marriage, the wonderful dream of being joined in marriage and bearing a child. However, their desire was only partially realized because, despite their youth, they were unable to conceive a child, despite their best efforts. They had treatment at a number of specialty clinics and hospitals, but Sandra's condition was hopeless since she had a physical issue that kept her from getting pregnant. They had the agony of not being able to conceive after much effort. Thus, the concept of adoption emerged, and the adoption procedure was initiated. However, the paperwork took a while. They committed themselves to raising a pit bull puppy they had purchased in the interim. Though it's hard not to, this couple made an effort to avoid thinking about it too much. Javier had always wanted a son or daughter who would greet him home with a hug and call him dad. Sandra had the same notion. But in the meanwhile, they put in a lot of effort to ensure that they would have enough to provide for this kid when the time came for a miracle to occur and Sandra became pregnant, or for the adoption center to approve their request. It was claimed that one does not bring a kid into the world to cause them pain or to satisfy their demands. Sandra would occasionally experience depression because she believed her spouse was unhappy because she was infertile rather than him. Javier, on the other hand, gave her a hug and comforted her as she sobbed on his shoulder, stroking her hair and telling her that everything would be well. "We will be able to have our child when the time comes. Perhaps existence has spared us to love an isolated creature, and as a result, we are unable to procreate." She calmed down after giving him a hug and feeling so supported. After some time, company started to move in an amazing manner. Sandra was unable to handle the workload by herself, so she had to relocate the office to a clinic with additional dentists. Sandra developed a partnership with 5 other dentists to open this clinic, which had the capacity to see up to 30 patients each day. It was a fantastic business. A few years later, they made the decision to relocate the dental clinic to another city. The business was so successful that Javier was forced to leave the legal practice in order to focus on overseeing one of the branches. During one of their excursions, they stopped in Central Park for ice cream. They saw a girl, maybe 12 years old, in a wheelchair asking for charity at the park fountain wearing a ragged red outfit. Sandra was informed by Javier, "See what life is like." To make matters worse, the individuals who already have children don't want them or leave them, and we are trying to conceive in order to give him all he deserves. Sandra and Javier headed to the little girl's location after purchasing a similar kind of ice cream to the one they were already enjoying. The girl said, "Are you so kind as to give me some money, or if you have food, I will receive it," as they got closer. Saying, "Look, baby, we brought you an ice cream." Javier approached. The girl began to weep as soon as she spotted the ice cream. Sandra inquired, "Why are you crying?" upon witnessing the scenario. "Is there a pain?" "No, ma'am," the woman said. "It's just that it made me remember my parents, who, when they came on a trip, would bring me an ice cream similar to this." After analyzing the girl's statement, Sandra concluded that indeed her parents loved her and that in order for them to have the means to purchase ice cream, they must have been a typical family. "What is your name?" inquired Javier. In response, the girl said, My name is Maria Jose. And why do you need to beg? Where are your parents located? Maria Jose started to cry as a lot of memories flashed through her head. We lived in a big house, she said to them. My mother Rosa, my twin brother Carlitos, and my father Fabian. My father had a sizable business that produced prefabricated homes. We were content. Because my brother and I are twins, we studied together at school. Nothing was lacking for us. My father owned a large, exquisite blue vehicle. We were on vacation in the city one day when our vehicle collided due to the carelessness of a drunk driver. My brother and my dad perished in the depths where we were thrown by the collision. The doctor informed me that when I woke up, I was unconscious. The fact is that I don't recall much because of the severe brain injury I had in the accident, which also caused me to lose some movement in my small legs. The doctors released me once I recovered. I haven't been able to go back to my hometown since I can't recall what it is, because I don't remember much. I've been living in this park for almost a year now, thanks to the generosity of others. To be honest, this is the first time I've communicated my tale to anyone. Whether Maria Jose was telling the truth, Javier and Sandra decided to assist her after paying close attention to the narrative. After they brought her to live with them, Javier, a lawyer, got up to speed and started looking for the girl's actual life and city. He began by looking for an accident online that fit the description the girl had given. He searched for that accident for several days without success. He then proceeded to the city's officials, and, surprise, they were brought to the location of the wrecked truck. After looking through it, he discovered several cards that belonged to Maria Jose's father and contained the factory's name, address, and city. The young lady was being honest. When he arrived at the location she had indicated for the factory, he discovered that Maria Jose was living alone with her parents and that the manager was still in charge of the business. He got in touch with them, told them the tale, and said that Maria Jose was their sole heir and that he would take her back to her life and home. He told his wife and Maria Jose the news as soon as he arrived home. They found it hard to believe. They then prepared their belongings and set off to find the girl's residence. Maria Jose's home looked enormous and exquisite when they got there, but it was already partially covered in dust and grass. Maria Jose said to them, "I appreciate your assistance. Would you want to move in with me in this house as you accepted me when I needed it and I don't have a family? See, I don't have a family. Rather, you are my new family." As Javier and Sandra met eyes, they knew that what Javier had told to Sandra years before had come true. There they were, bringing joy to a lonely little child. How did you feel about this narrative? Was Javier correct to assist Maria Jose, or ought he to have let another attorney handle this? I appreciate you seeing. Please remember to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our videos. If you enjoyed the tale, the next video that plays on your screen will probably move you too.